the narrative is changing. The power is now with the people, and we have to make that effect. And we need to make them understand that they have the power. They have, and they also have the responsibility to that. You know, there's a difference when you know that you have power and you are not being responsive to that. There's two different. I know that my PVC, I know that my vote has power. I have my PVC, but I can decide not to go and vote. That is me not being responsive to the power that I have at hand. So we need to let them know that there's a difference that you get registered. There's a difference that you have a PVC. The most important thing is to put that to use, which is a different talk now.
What about the monitoring of the election? Because it's a full process. I know that in the electoral discussion is something that we have during election and immediately after election. But after that, we don't talk about it anymore until the election comes again. In fact, the kind of politician that we have today, they really are lovers of people during the election. But when the election is over, they forget the people. They don't talk about it again. All right. Now, I'm looking at what about the monitoring? Because actually this, for democracy to work, we are going to monitor it from the day we start talking of democracy, electing people into office, listening to what they said they are going to do, getting them there, and making sure that we monitor what they are doing until they leave office. Because it's a project, it's a very long project. It is not just electing you are getting to the office, that is done. No, you say you are going to do something, you got there on the basis of a promise.
Yeah.
That promise didn't end when you get to office. It ends until you leave office. Are you fulfilling it? So I think this is a part of the responsibility of the people to hold their elected officials accountable for what they say they will do. So on this monitoring aspect, can you share anything with us?
We actually agree with what you said, and as you were just talking, something actually crossed my mind that I wish our legislative, there could be a way they could put that into our constitution and make it a law that as a political aspirant, by the time you get into power, we need to go back to your promises, your agenda, the things you promised to do. And if you do not do that, or you do not do 80% of what you promised to do, there should be sanction on them. I think if they know that there is a sanction at the end of my tenure, and if this thing is not being done, I will be queried. I think that will actually help them step up their game. But on their so for that to implement or to monitor that, I feel that it's in the hands of the legislative and the people. And when I say the legislative, the people have been represented in the legislative too. So I think that should be one of the things that people should state that they want. You know, a whole lot of time when politicians come out to campaign, I will do this, I will do this, I will do that. And by the time they get into position, they forget the people that vote for them. And nobody, they are not being accountable to the people again. And where civil society organizations, I think this civil society organizations should come in, because they serve as checks. And I think with the help of legislative too, because, and I think the problem we have in the country is that a whole lot of things have been raised, but the problem we have is implementation. The problem we have is implementation. By the time, because the power of civil society organization is being limited. Society organization can only suggest an opinion, can only recommend. They cannot enforce that into power. They cannot enforce that into law. So the power still boils down to our legislature.
What about this idea of recording what is happening and showing it? No, because now it has become very difficult for them to keep certain lies. No, because during the electoral period, during the electoral manifestos, they will say, ah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, before, you don't have records of it now. We hear that a lot of rumors. Maybe some people need to organize themselves and say, ah, okay, you say you're going to do this. They just write everything out, record you, they will put it out there. As you get to the office, we'll start reminding you. Because I believe that if we are waiting for certain law to be enacted to make sure that people are held accountable, it's not going to happen, because it's that you are telling the people, set a trap to catch you. It's not going to happen, because it's just not going to happen. But if the people can organize themselves to police the politicians, I think they will, because you cannot really hide if the people know what they want from you and they are ready to stand their ground for it. You see, I think it was in the administration of Obasanjo, where, was it Obasanjo or Goodluck Jonathan, where the fuel price was raised. For the first time, all Nigerians stood their ground that it's not going to pass. I think, was it 65 naira, and they have to return back price to the earlier price. What it basically means is that any time, any singular day that the Nigerian people stand their ground, the politician must bend, because the power actually belongs to the people. But if the people are divided, you are just taking this part, I'm taking that part, the other way taking that part, you cannot find your way. So I'm still like very key on this monitoring aspect, on the trying to make sure that we hold our leaders accountable. That, take for example, the issue of electricity in Nigeria. Since 1999, I usually say this often, when we return to our fourth republic, no, the democracy that we have today, our problem were already well stated. We knew what our problem was infrastructure. We need light in Nigeria. Education, everything. We have major problem there. But some of the basic ones, we needed the government to solve them, like roads, electricity. So if the people have organized themselves to be say, okay, you say you are going to do this related to electricity, because first of all, we even need to know what do we even need in terms of electricity? Do we even really have a statistics of what we need to power the Nigerian economy? How much of this are you going to provide in your administration? Because your success and failure is going to be based on this.
Yeah.
So this is where I think we need to maybe work more, or how to keep record of everything they say and keep sharing it to remind them, because they quickly forget. They don't remember they make promises.
Yes, I think you are really right, actually. And the truth is, we'll give you the solution to that. If some set of people can be shadowed with that responsibility of monitoring, from the campaign, we get to know what you want to do. So the time you get into power, the first 2 years of power that you get into position, we need to check what has this person done. Is it in line with the promise the person made during the campaign? And if it is not, we remind the person, this is what you promised. We have not seen that. I think if like you said, if people can be charged with that responsibility, it will be good, because they can't give all that to the government to do. And remember, there's corruption everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. You can't give that to the government to do. The government also have their other tasks to deliver on. So I feel that if some set of people can be charged with that responsibility of checking and also setting reminder, so let them know this is what you promised us, we've not seen that, and this is the second year in office. So with that, though, such person will be able to retrace his or her step and make sure that whatever project he will be doing will align with the promise he or she made earlier during the campaign. So like you said, everything still boils down to the people. The people, as they have the yam and they have the knife. So, but the truth is, in order to make the people function well, we need the support of the government. Because if you say a certain number of people shadow themselves with that responsibility and they do that, once the government silence them, they say then there's a thing with power. Power intoxicates. I could be your friend today, and the moment I get into office tomorrow, anything can happen. Power changes people. So I think if people can come up with that, with the support of the government, this will go a long way. So we need ourselves, because we are also the government. The truth is, we need ourselves to make this work.